Hey, what's going on, guys? Gamerdude back once again with another episode in our Just the Facts series. Today we are discussing another hidden little gem hidden within the Days Gone story mode. Now, you're probably looking at the title thinking, the fuck is this guy on about? Well, sit back, relax, and allow me to explain a little. So it's come to the gaming community's attention that Bench Studios' Days Gone could actually be a sequel to one of its earlier franchises, Syphon Filter. For those of you who do not know what Syphon Filter was, it's one of Bench Studios' early classics dating way back to the PS1, which was first released early in 1999. The game was a third-person action shooter and has since had 6 sequels, the last of which was released in February of 2007. Now, according to an eagle-eyed gamer, myself included, we've actually found that Days Gone could be connected to this world more than anyone actually realised. And it's down to the fact that Gabe and Leon actually failed to save the world, which then resulted in the freaker virus that now plagues the world of Days Gone. So, allow me to go into more detail regarding this, break it down and tell you what we actually found. While everyone currently knows Sony's Bench Studio for Days Gone's post-apocalyptic carnage, it also has another name you might recognise, and that is, as I said, Syphon Filter. It is an old PS1 classic created back when the studio was still called 989 Studios, which is probably why no one recognises it and puts the pieces together. It's not a coincidence that there's a trophy called Lend Me Your Ears, which is for collecting so many freaker ears, berserker ears and whatnot throughout the game. Again, that's still a weird currency in the game. I'm not sure why it was ears, you know. You can collect scrap and whatnot, so why make it ears? Yeah. Anyway, so this earns you a trophy for it, obviously, that I said, called Lend Me Your Ears. And it's actually 989. So that's a sneaky little tie-in. That's a sneaky little tie-in to what the studio was originally called, because it's not just 990 or 1000 or 900. It's 989 ears that you have to collect. So that's definitely a nice little Easter egg, a nice little tie-in to the original studio. So the Syphon Filter series shipped 3 games on the PS1, a further 3 on the PSP between 1999 and 2007. It was a world of action, movie spies fighting international terrorism from one set piece to the next, so different locations in different games and different places, different missions, blah blah blah. It kind of had a hint of Mission Impossible to it, like, as well as a hint of Splinter Cell with the whole stealthy aspect. But while it's largely a footnote in PlayStation's history these days compared to, say, Gran Turismo or Grand Theft Auto or something like that, it hasn't stopped older fans hoping for a sequel to the game. The thing is, while not everyone will realise it, or potentially like it, Days Gone may well actually be, appropriately enough, a stealth Syphon Filter sequel according to a series of Easter eggs and references that can be located throughout the game's story. But before I get into that, I need to recap on what Syphon Filter actually was. I mean, I've broken down some of it, but that was just like a, you know, it was like a bio of the game, really. This is really going to break it down for you so you understand why these games are actually intertwined. So the series starred Gabe Logan, an agent for the International Presidential Consulting Agency, or IPCA. It was an anti-terrorist organisation that for most of the 6 games jetted around the world stopping bioterrorism, mostly using genetically targeted Syphon Filter virus that gave them that gave the series its name, sorry. The world of Days Gone, of mutated feral freaks, might not immediately sound very similar, but even early doors, there are hints and suggestions that tease at some connections. Later stage in the game, there's a full-on documentation that feels basically blatant confirmation that it all takes place in the same world as Syphon Filter. And the Freaker outbreak could very well be the result of something Gabe, Logan and his team encountered and failed to stop. If Syphon Filter is a game about intergovernmental agencies trying to stop dangerous diseases, ending mankind, then Days Gone could very well be Syphon Filter 7. Didn't stop it this time or some shit. Because if you think about it, there's that whole Neuro thing in this game, and Neuro could actually be that terrorist organization, just repurposed into something for the apocalypse. I mean, it would totally make sense. But pushing on from that, the first clues appear when Neuro actually arrive on the scene. The National Emergency Response Organization. It is the remains of a Days Gone version of FEMA, who, having failed to contain the virus, appear to have retreated from the zone, only appearing as yellow-suited research teams choppering in and out to investigate the outbreak. It very much feels like a callback to the original Syphon Filter opening. So maybe that's been done deliberately, maybe it's a deliberate tie-in, maybe it's deliberately supposed to feel like the first cutscene from Syphon Filter because that's what they wanted to do this whole time. But moving on, it stands to mention that the Neuro troops look a lot like the Chemical and Biological Defense Command, the CBC, that worked with Gabe in the Syphon Filter series. I mean, I can't include a picture because obviously copyright, I've already got in trouble last week for uploading one of these and it had copyrighted material in it, so I've got to be very careful with what I do with these. But so far, it's just been a nice nod to the old studios games, really. But this is where it gets interesting. During a mission where you have to follow Neuro, Days Gone lead protagonist Deacon St. John hears this exchange between neuroscientists and soldiers, which is as follows, and yes, I did replay the game to find this back out. This virus is on a mission. The freaks are what they are because the virus wants them this way. The guy responds with, "What are you saying?" I'm saying Jesus. What am I saying? Terrorism. You're saying this was deliberate? And then the other guy responds with, "I don't know." See, that is quite a nice little hint to drop that the Freaker virus was man-made. And we do later learn this in another mission as well with Deacon's wife. She goes back to the research facility and learns that some guy took the virus out of a lab, went coastal with it or something, went on a plane. Then all the people that he met in that country got infected. Then he came back, all the people on the plane were infected. Then they came into society and they infected everybody else, and so on and so on. But the in-game field note you unlock for overhearing that audio clip even states speculation that the virus was and is bioengineered. The developer of 6 games about weaponized viruses aren't going to slip in something like that without certain people raising an eyebrow. I mean, it certainly raised my eyebrow when I heard it. However, it doesn't take long for the game to basically out and out confirm that this is Syphon Filter's world, with a report you can find in the Cloverdale laboratory where Sarah, Deacon's wife, used to work. For those not up on their Syphon Filter lore, it names just about everything important to the series. Gabe, along with his partners Lee and Zing and Teresa Lipan, I'm not sure if that's right, and Lawrence Mojari. The location of several Syphon Filter attacks, company fronts used by various terrorist organizations, like Kimesmith and Paracom Industries. It's less an Easter egg and more of a certificate of authenticity. I really can't pronounce my words today. Authenticity. There we go. The Syphon Filter virus is what we're calling it, is what it's been known on the actual gaming forums now, rather than the Freaker virus. And so the game's characters and events exist in Days Gone from the Syphon Filter series. So when you get to this part in the game, it really adds salt into the wound of the post-apocalyptic world when Sarah discovers part of her research was used to create the Freaker virus. Like I said, with that guy going abroad and infecting those people, and then those people coming back and infecting more people, yada yada yada. So I'll skip past all that bit with the botanist who has you fetching lavender for burn medicine and weaponized DNA altering viruses and blah blah blah. But the final pin in the proof sheet that this is basically a Syphon Filter game appears after you've finished the story of Days Gone. All throughout the game, you've been able to pick up IPCA tech from the bodies of neuroscientists without ever knowing what they were for. You know, you just loot a corpse and then think, oh right, I've got some more stuff to craft some more weapons, that sort of deal. But no. Once the game ends, you're actually able to get a crafting recipe to use for it. Collect all 18 pieces of the IPCA tech, and you can make an IPCA stun gun. But it's not just any stun gun. Oh no. This is Gabe Logan's taser from the Syphon Filter game series. It famously initially electrocutes enemies and then, eventually, sets them on fire. If you forget to let go of the button, that is, which I always do when I use it because it's a lot of fun, just watching things spontaneously combust after a taser shot. So that weapon, it even has Gabe Logan's initials attached to the side of it, just to really drum the connection home. I mean, again, I'd love to include a picture, but I can't. So I can just describe it that basically the taser, it looks like an old walkie-talkie, but instead it's got a blue thing attached to the front of it with, electricity on the outside of it. And just where you'd put your thumb to press the button, it says G and L, Gabe Logan. So short of actually meeting Gabe in person in Days Gone, it makes it pretty hard not to imagine this is in or within the same world Logan and his team used to protect. Of course, what that means for a more traditional sequel to the Syphon Filter series isn't quite clear or isn't obvious. Somehow a post-apocalyptic espionage thriller doesn't quite sound right to go within that series, although it is kind of cool. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think Days Gone is actually linked in with the Syphon Filter world? Or do you think it's just a big conspiracy and I'm talking out of my ass? But anyway, that is definitely it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I hope I've expanded your gaming knowledge and given you some details as to the secrecy of this game. So stay tuned tomorrow because we will be continuing a game in our series in place of the Telltale game series until we are able to replace The Walking Dead Season 3 because, yeah, as I've said over the last few weeks, it appears to have cooked itself and refuses to load. So don't miss out on that. Shout out to all subscribers, old and new. We're now at 941 and getting ever so close to that goal of 1k. And it would be an absolutely amazing achievement and milestone if we could get there by the end of this year. So I really can't thank you all enough for the continuous support and views of my content. Really, without you guys, I wouldn't have continued the channel at all. So if you are new to the channel and enjoy this video or any of my other content, make sure you smash that like button and drop me a subscribe. I always sub back to new subscribers and view any content you may be producing. So that being said, this has been Just the Facts with Gamerdude. Happy gaming, and I'll catch you all in the next one, guys.